As crypto investors, we know a lot of things affect the crypto market, Bitcoin and altcoins. It happens, and we take it geopolitical and right now humanitarian crisis that it's all affecting. And today, October 12th, we got another one called inflation, the CPI data, and expected for inflation 3.6, actual 3.7. For inflation expected 4.1%, actual 4.1%, meaning nothing really changed. Nothing big changed in inflation right now. And I always like to see different arguments, different sides of the aisle, right? Some people are bullish, saying this is great and we're going down. And other people like Peter Schiff are saying the Fed lost the war with inflation and they don't know what they're doing. And we're basically never or very long process to achieve the 2%. And he's even saying if the Fed wants to take this seriously, there's not gonna be any rate cuts in the for the remainder of the decade. That's what he said. So let me go ahead and show you guys what's going on and how it's affecting the crypto prices right now. Because as a crypto investors, I obviously want to see crypto rise, but realistically speaking, check this out. 3.7, 3.7, the same as in this is for September, the same as in August, right? So it happens. Then we take a look at core inflation. And on this one, I like it a little bit better. Why? Well, because it's going down, right? At least something is going down, little by little. This was a year ago, and now we are, 12 months later, and we are 4.1%. So, yes. And one of the reasons that I can answer you immediately why it's not moving so fast down, it's because of all the money spent and the trillions of dollars added to the national debt. I mean, guys, the debt ceiling is real. And if you're spending a lot of money, if you're not tackling the deficit, this thing is not going to go down magically, right? So, you and I know here in the United States, the government loves to print money. And even though they don't have a quantitative easing strategy as they had back in COVID, still difficult to manage to resolve the 2% challenge, right? So when it comes to the prices right now, just a few altcoins doing some magic. Other than that, Bitcoin under $27,000 at $26,000. It's not bullish. It's just right now holding and seeing where it's going to stop and find a support level. That's basically it, right? And we move here. Check this out. Today's zero point 0.5 rise in September. CPI zero point 0.3 rise in core confirms that the Fed is nowhere near achieving the 2% inflation target, right? And I'm like, what, really? I mean, someone who has been in the markets for a while, check this out. I personally like this one. If the Fed is serious about fighting inflation, there won't be any rate cuts for the remainder of the decade. What does that mean? The federal funds rate cuts, the federal funds rate is exactly what the Fed is using to increase the rate and make sure inflation comes down. That's one of the strategies they do. And during the FOMC meetings, Jerome Powell, the chair of the Fed, has said that cuts are going to come in years from now, like 1, 2 years or so. Obviously, not in 2023, but people are saying if you're serious, you're not going to cut anything all the way till 2030. I mean, to make sure we are back in some really better, stable market economy. Problem is that that's still very high for Americans, right? Because a lot of things are expensive right now. That means the Fed does come through with the rate cuts. It's only because higher inflation seems an acceptable trade-off to avert catastrophic financial crisis. And that's what Fed, the president, and the United States government, they've been trying to avoid since COVID happened. And now we know with all the humanitarian and war crisis we're living in, Russia, Ukraine, Israel and Hamas and Gaza and all of that, Palestine, it's just difficult to make sure that the United States is keeping tabs on what they spend. It's just never going to happen. And it makes a little bit more difficult and challenging to get to that 2%. However, we still have a chance. I am looking at passing and breaking that 4%, bottom and going to the 3% in the upcoming month and hopefully by the end of 2023. For the inflation, doesn't seem that it's going to 2% anytime soon, guys, because June was the lowest month when it comes to inflation in a year plus, and right now, well, it doesn't seem anywhere close. This is the one that drops really fast. So something has to change. Definitely, this is not helping because inflation is going higher, but the core is what the Fed looks at the most, and it's going down. So as of now, stay put. We have one more FOMC meeting on in this month, which is at the end of October, beginning of November. We'll see if they increase because we had a federal funds rate pause this previous one. So this coming one, are they gonna raise the interest rate by 25 basis points? We'll see. Maybe. If not, I might be bullish. I'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you for watching. You've been updated. This is what's going on. Inflation, baby. Not much we can do, but just to buy Bitcoin. Peace.